it's my book review of Going Under. This was a really good book. I did enjoy. I've read the second one as well. This once again, I read this in order. I read the first one before I read the second one, and I actually did prefer the second book. Going Under, I forgot who this is by, isn't it Georgina Katz? I really love her because I loved her. My favourite book series of hers that I've actually read, which is the only one besides this one, which was the Beauty series, which is to do with the Australian guy. And it was Beauty from Pain, Beauty from Surrender, Beauty from Love. 3 books, and it's just really it's a really good love story. I really enjoyed that one, so I thought I'd read another book for a series. Had nothing to do with the other one. I did enjoy this one. It was about it sounded a bit better in the summary than the actual book was, but it's still enjoyable. It was kind of like this bad boy / good girl sort of thing. This girl saying that no one knew who she really was, and she's the typical cheerleader, popular girl who's dating the quarterback, and she doesn't really love the guy. She's staying with him because it looks good and that's what her parents want. And she has a best friend who's like, the best friend's actually in the second book. That's her love story. The best friends, I actually prefer the best friend than this character from the first book. The best friend's like this chipper, blonde, hot porn star girl. She's really hot from the book cover especially, and she's like the hippie cool girls. She's a cheerleader as well, they're popular girls, and then they meet this boy that's from like the town across, which is like the champs, like the lazy, like chabby looking people, and he has to come to this school because I can't remember why the hell did he have to come to school. Anyway, he has to come to school for some reason, and he wants to get a scholarship to be, you know, a scholarship, even though he's doing playing basketball, whatever they call it, but he wants to be a lawyer. I don't feel like that really connected with the person that they were. The girl wanted to be a social worker, which hit home for him. He's this bad boy, he has secrets. It starts out really different. He's actually only after the girl because, like I said, she's dating the quarterback, and her boyfriend, who's the quarterback, is his rival. You know, he's trying to take his place basically as the new quarterback. So her boyfriend, the quarterback, is kind of got his eyes on him, saying that we need to deal with him and make sure that he doesn't get my place basically. And my hair's gone funny. But yeah, and the girl's actually attracted to the bad boy. I forgot what the hell's their names. I've actually forgotten their names. But yeah, so the guy's actually going after the girl, even though she's really hot, but only to get back at his rival. You know, to show that he can get her, but he actually does end up caring about her and obviously falling in love with her, and she actually ends up caring about him and ends up falling in love with him. But it's kind of like a cheating book a little bit, slightly, because she's still dating her quarterback boyfriend, and she kind of starts something on the side behind his back. So you've kind of both got bets going on, because he's just trying to get into like her parents to annoy his rival, who's her boyfriend at the beginning, and she's only trying to get at him because, what was it? Why is she trying to get back at him for? She was just trying to show him that she could make him fall madly in love or something, and then throw it in his face to her. But nothing like that happened. But what the hell is their names called? I'm on the wrong section. Of course I am. Load. Oh, that's why the internet's going really fast. I got a video uploading. I keep forgetting about that. I've got a YouTube video uploading. But yeah, I can't remember the hell their names. This is bad because I've got to be talking about the book and I don't remember their names. What else is there? But yeah, it was okay. I did enjoy it. I didn't like that she started something else with another guy that she was already dating. Her boyfriend, though, was a jerk who she was dating. There wasn't like any sex scenes in this book, neither in the second one. I mean, we know that they did it, but there was no details. We didn't get the author didn't, you know, explain that, oh, he took my pants down and then he was inside me, whatever. But I know that's not important about the story, but it was a bit weird because I've read the author Georgina Katz, the Beauty series. There was sex details a lot in that one. Not as bad as 50 Shades of Grey, it's not like that, but she described it so you definitely knew what was going on second by second sort of thing till it was over, and then, you know. But this book kind of just, it was kind of more like Twilight, like Stephanie Meyer style, you know, where in Twilight there wasn't a lot of sex, but when it comes to the honeymoon, it kind of just it turned to black like a TV screen. So it was a mystery. You kind of knew that they had sex, so obviously you knew that involves this, but we didn't get to see them describe how it happened. We didn't get them to say, oh, Edward pushed you onto the bed and then he took his pants off and he was hard, and it wasn't like that. It was just kind of like the guy was going to take my virginity, and then it felt really good, and then after it was kind of just like that sort of thing. What the hell was their names? I'm probably going to find out their names till at the end of this review. But yeah, I don't want to tell you too much without ruining the book. But it was good. I did enjoy it, and I do think the second book was better. I did enjoy it more. It hit more home and felt more personal to me personally. But it was still a good love story. It did make me cry. There were some sweet romantic bits to it. There was some horrible bits in it. Not horrible, but you know, the bad boy is involved with drugs, but is against his will, even though he does it not against his will. He's kind of, it's not like he's been getting head put to his head, but basically if he doesn't sell drugs, then he's homeless and he's on his own. So it's kind of like you have to do what you don't want to do just so that you can be home and be in a safe place to look after yourself. That's it. The guy was called Jess, like Jessie, and the girl was called, does it say her name? What's her name again? What the hell? Claire, that's it, Claire. That was her name. Her name was Claire. So yeah, Claire. I'm not a big fan of the name Claire, really. Or Sophie. Nothing wrong with those names, but it doesn't get me excited or something, you know, like if you have to think about baby names, I don't feel like, oh, that's what I'll be proud to be called. But neither does Lucy, really. Lucyanna sounds better. But yes, it wasn't, it was good. I do recommend reading it, but if you haven't read Georgina Katz before, I would say Beauty is a lot better series, which she read. She's even done a vampire series, but I think I won't read it for a while. It sounds good, but I love those books where even if I haven't read it, I just read the summary and I know the author's good and it makes me want to go and read it now, and I just want to keep reading it and keep reading it. Georgina's other books that I've kind of read besides, because Beauty series is the best selling one and it's obvious why it is, because it's such a better story. There's so much more love and backstory and need and all that sort of stuff that you want in a love story there. These ones were kind of, I don't know if this was her earlier stuff before she did Beauty or if this was after. So maybe this was before she realised what her writers were looking for, what she needed to do to make the writers love her more. I don't know. If this was after, then this is a bit of a disappointment. But it's nothing personal. You know, everyone has different tastes, and some people might think these books are better than her actual other series. But for me personally, this just felt a bit more dry. It just kind of felt a bit more not there, if you know what I mean. For me, it just didn't hit me right in the heart as much. The books were still good, they felt fine, but I mean it's in a good way. Georgina Katz can do better. I've seen her do better work and better books, and especially Beauty just had that extra oomph to it, and I just really enjoyed it. These books were still really good. It wasn't that extra factor feel to it. So it's kind of just like artists who can paint, you know, some people, you can see someone doing, like when your teacher tells you that when you've handed in a piece of work and they say, why did you do this? I know that you can do better. You can make your work better. I know that you can make this into a B. This is just a C, and I've seen that you can do better than this. That's what this kind of feels like. It feels like these books were kind of just not as good as I know that she could have. I didn't know she was in a quick rush or whatever, but it just wasn't. It was still a really good read. I'm glad I read it. But I do think because I think it was kind of a letdown because I read Beauty and I really love that series and I was hoping it's going to be something more like that. It just wasn't quite there. But yeah, it was really good. So definitely go and read it. That's Georgina Katz, Going Under. That's the first book of the series, and I'm about to do the book review for Chalet, which was a lot better. I did enjoy that one. I think I connected to the characters a bit more. I didn't really like Claire that much. I think she was just kind of this typical, the author seemed to go for that typical kind of character story for these two. The girl was the popular cheerleader, and she had the hot boyfriend, even though she wasn't in love with him. She's kind of a bit of a bitch to the mean boy. The boy was kind of a bit of a dick to her, but it was always normally really sweet to her and nice, and they ended up really nice. I mean, I know they ended up getting married and having a baby, so that was nice. I just think it wasn't deep enough for me, but it was a good book. You know, if you're a person who's still in high school or secondary school, you know, like if you're like in year 7 to 9 and you haven't read a lot of books, if you're a starter who's just started reading books, I think this would be a good way to start, you know, because I think that's also another problem for me. Now that because I've got to 307 books I've read now, over the 300 mark, I think now because I'm getting so much, I think you can learn from reading. I think the more I keep reading books, the more I know what I typically get from books, the more books I see that people easily go for, that make interesting stories, like making billionaires or cowboys or accidentally pregnancies and marriage and cheating and all this sort of stuff. Some things that people just typically just go for to make a good story. And I think when I first started reading books were just so easy to please me because I didn't have a lot of knowledge of reading good books. I kind of just wasn't able to tell what I thought was good and what was bad, as in writing. Not that the book's good, I think it kind of is more of a knowledge building thing. Now that I've got so much more knowledge of reading books, I kind of can notice more of what is more of a shallow read. No tent intended, you know, but I kind of know more what I'm looking for and what makes a good read for me. And I think that also helps recommending books. Not that I really recommend books to people. You know, in my personal life, like to face-to-face. I do with my sister, but you know, I kind of know more what I'm looking for. I think that's a bit more harder what it is when I come to pick books, because I know what I'm looking for in that mood and what that typical moment. So, and I like knowing now that, because I've read so many books, I do have those authors. I know that what I'm looking for, I can just go straight to them because I know what they're generally going to give me. Even if I haven't read the book that I'm going to read of theirs before, but I kind of just know what they're generally going to go for and what I'm going to expect, and I'm going to enjoy it or hate it. So that's good. But I do like experimenting and doing things different, but this was a good book. It was. I did enjoy it a lot. So there's that. Bye, I love you guys, you're my VRVs, I hope you enjoyed this, and bye.